Some of the parts that I've done, the more highly visible parts that I've played, have been more active, action type of characters in the studio films, not in the independent films, but of course less people have seen those. And I felt that playing a character like Aggie Conrad, a woman who's virtually throughout the whole film strapped to the bed, is as opposite to an action character as you can possibly imagine. So I figured that would be a great challenge for me to play that. Being basically in a bed, in a cast, throughout most of the film was, of course, very appropriate for the things that the character goes through. I mean, she feels that there's very little that she can do to help. And of course, when I think for a mother, and I'm not one yet, although the only mother I am is a mother to my dog, but so that's the only way I can relate to that. And of course, I know a lot of people who are mothers, and when I've spoken to them, it seems that the worst possible thing that can happen in the world is losing your child, or being afraid that something's going to happen. And then, of course, when there's nothing you can do about it because you're in a bed and you're in a cast, and it only adds to the internal process that the character's going through, and the things that would make the character extremely emotional and determined to think of ways to help get her child back. I think it's really important that every character in a film is cast appropriately and is played by strong actors. And I think that's the wonderful thing about Gary Fleder, is Gary adores actors. And he really makes sure that every single character, that every person that he casts is a very good actor. Gary and I had a bunch of conversations before we started shooting about the character, because I said my fear in playing a character like that would be that she would sort of be the whining wife. And those have always been characters that I wanted to stay away from. The fact that she's immobile, she can't do anything, her child has been kidnapped, her husband leaves, and she's alone in the house, only make all of those circumstances more difficult. And playing the characters, it was definitely sort of a trap that I didn't want to fall into. Gary was wonderful because we talked about it, and we tried to think of ways where she could become stronger, and she was an independent woman. And it seemed like, even though she was in a bed, in a cast, that there was that she was actively participating in the actions. Escaping from the bed and trying to get out of the cast and the traction, or actually didn't get out of the cast, I just got out of the traction, was tricky because I wanted it to appear real, but of course it was barely screwed in, and the moment I would move one little thing, my entire cast would come flying off. So and then of course I asked around like how painful it would be to pull it off, and apparently it is a very painful thing to do. So I think at some point, actually, there was a time where they almost called cut because they think I'd actually hurt myself. It just ended up being such a good experience working with Gary and working with Michael, and it just turned out so great. And I told Gary that too. It really gave me a lot of faith in filmmaking again, because sometimes it's only technical, or sometimes it feels like it's about a lot of other things other than performance. And like I said, Gary is just somebody who really loves to work with actors, so it just, in that respect, it was wonderful.